tough loss, obviously. Where do you feel like that game was lost for you guys?
I think there's a number of areas that you could say it's lost. Firstly, I thought our second quarter defence was pretty poor. I thought we got hit on way too many screens, gave them way too many open looks, and that was disappointing. But we came back from that, and I thought we put together two reasonable quarters defensively in the third and fourth. But, I mean, we just had an incredibly bad shooting night. You know, we're 4 of 24 from behind the arc. We missed 9 at the free throw line, and in general, we just had a lot of shots around the rim that we didn't knock down. But, you know, those are the nights when your defence has got to be really solid for 4 quarters, and we let up in that second quarter, and that's why we come away with a loss.
What did you think about the shot selection down the stretch? It was 4 straight three-point attempts. You guys were down to for the first 2 or 3 of those. Were you happy with those, or was you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, we had a wide open one off a baseline out of bounds, which I thought Ryan carried that one with good rhythm, was open. Pass was a little bit off, had to reach for it, I thought, which maybe gave DJ Mitchell a chance to maybe put a contest to it. And then obviously we needed a 3 down the stretch as well. I thought we got a pretty good look on our sideline out of bounds play in the corner. You know, as for the others, you know, we'll assess that. I think the thing you'll find during the course of the game was that they were really heavy packing the paint because we were unsuccessful from the 3-point line, kicking the ball out. You got your feet underneath you, you go wide open, you got to let it go.
You talk about that second quarter, a lot of line drives to the rim for them. You know, where do you think that's coming from as far as you guys not being able to pack the paint?
It's not so much about packing the paint as much as it is about for us getting clipped on the screens and not fighting over, dying on those, and not getting back in front. I felt like we were getting over the top late because we got clipped on them, which generally means you're not into the ball to start with. Okay, so we've got to put out the fire first, be into the ball, fight over that screen, be able to fight back in front. And no, we didn't. We got hit on that, gave separation. Credits to Brisbane, though. They made some good plays out of that too and some good finishing.
What did you think about the physicality of that game? And, you know, got a bit fiery at points on both sides. How did you see all that?
Yeah, you know, when you're playing a team like Brisbane, who has a team full of pros and guys who definitely do care, I think a knock on them has been that they seem like they don't care. They care, and they showed that tonight. And we didn't have that fight for 4 quarters, and I think it's as simple as that. Like they outfought us, and the whole time we're trying to play catch up, and all it takes is a couple of wild shots from Kadi or Sobi, and 2 guys that are very capable of making big time clutch shots, and we allowed them to do that. And so. Yeah, the physicality is one thing. That's always going to be a part of it. I think that we're a pretty physical team, especially in the front court. And so they had some big boys down there too. So it was definitely a battle, but I think it was lost on our end by our lack of fight for 40 minutes.
In that first quarter, you sort of fouled yourself out a little bit. Like
yeah.
The foul and the tech foul. On that, how are you disappointed in yourself in that, considering the position your team is in? Do you feel like you have to be better? And then also, how did you get yourself back into the game? Because it seemed like you found your flow.
Yeah, totally inexcusable to go after an official like that. Definitely not the image that I want to set across, and definitely felt like I let my team down there early. But Dane Pinot came in and played some really great minutes. We were very inspired, it seemed, in that first quarter, even after my blow-up or whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, definitely disappointed in myself. And just in terms of getting back in a flow, just credit to my teammates and the coaching staff. They just keep me in. You know, if I kind of go off like that, they bring me back in, let me calm down, and allow me to be myself. And so, yeah.
Simon, a bunch of injured guys that didn't play last game come into this game. How did you feel everyone held up? It looked like Harry played a good amount of minutes.
Oh, yeah, I think, you know, from a physical standpoint, and I haven't checked with their players yet. I haven't seen them. I'll catch up with them tomorrow morning. I feel like that, you know, besides the bump on the knee for Rowdy, I thought they got through pretty well. Obviously, there was some gassing going on at times as well. We had to, you know, try and get those rotations in real quick. But, yeah, no, they've got through. I mean, the issues we face, and this is something that we've got to pick up quickly, and it wasn't unsurprising tonight, and this is kind of what I was expecting. We talked about early in the season when we had all these guys coming back at once and after 5 weeks that, all right, now you got to learn how to play together on the floor together, and we were really good at picking it up quick back then. I thought tonight there were signs of us just a lack of familiarity. There was a lot of tipped passes, a lot of passes that hit the floor where we had to go retrieve it and then regroup and then try and get something started. And, you know, even some of the crazy plays, the one that almost went out of bounds, we throw it back, and, you know, like there was a few of those plays. 15 turnovers, way too much. And I think a lot of those were, you could see there was an element of, you know, not being on the floor and working together.
Given all of that, and where are your concern levels at this point, considering next few games against three
high
defenses? And
no, they're really high. I mean, you know, the concern levels have been going all year long. There's a lot of pressure in this job, and there's a lot of pressure when you've got you know, different lineups going out most weeks, and to try and make it all fit, and it's really difficult. But you know, we get to play teams that we're in this dogfight with, which is great. So it's like a double win. You can go in, get your win, the loss for them mounts up, but we've got to go take care of our business. You know, I mean, it's some really good signs tonight too. It's not going to be all, you know, death and despair. Whilst extraordinarily disappointed with the result, you know, usually when you go into a game, you get 11 more field goal attempts and you know, a whole bunch more, 11 more free throws, 10 more field goal attempts, and you out rebound someone by 22. You know, you put yourself usually in a pretty good position to succeed. You know, some of those dollies that we missed around the paint, they came back to bite us. But having said that, again, you know, that second quarter when we're incapable of getting over screens, that's the one that hurt us. Because you're going to have those nights where you just can't make shots.
Simon, could the short turnaround be a good thing for the team? They'll be ready and raring to go, I'm guessing, after this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it could be. You know, I think getting the 3 games in this week is going to be good for our chemistry and getting that back. It was really good, actually, this week to have the week together. Whilst not everybody was on the floor at all times, it was good to have that week together because there were some things we needed to work on from a defensive standpoint that we just hadn't been able to do for the last 3 weeks. You know, we haven't trained. You know, we've had some 3-on-3 sessions, we've had some shooting sessions, and that's pretty much been us for the best part of the last 3 weeks, or since before New Year's. So this week it was great to have a couple of sessions where they were pretty spicy. You know, guys were getting into each other. There was a little bit of frustration out there, and it was good to see the guys being sort of combative and competing. But, you know, at the end of the day, we've got to be better on the floor. We've got to execute a little better. We've got to finish a little better. And, yeah, we look forward to getting down to Tassie and then having a crack against a really good team.
Just on that short turnaround, though, could that impact on any of the players who have come back tonight from those injuries?
Well, it could if they're injured, if they're hurting. You know, I don't know. I haven't spoken to the guys. I think it's good for us to turn around and get another game under our belt. As you can see, there's a bit of ring rust in there tonight. I think we need to be on the floor and playing. You cannot replicate that intensity. I mean, we go pretty hard at each other at practice, but it's a different level. And going up against a team like Tasmania, who's ultra physical, you know, as soon as you get over half court, they're hitting you, and you're going to be grinding it out. I think it's going to be a really good test for us, and you know, we have to be safe with the ball and make sure we execute and do the little things really well.
All good. Oh, all good.
All good.
Yep, all good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.